Good morning, Jens. Good going here in a couple minutes. Morning, Easy. Hey, good morning, Luke, and thanks for the reminder. Appreciate it. All right, let's crack into this. Let's crack into this. Let's see, maybe step this up. Let's maybe go to like the 1 hour. Let's go all the way to the four. All right, so we have where is that's the actual price. So we've knocked out two more little points of liquidity. They gone. They gone. They ain't there no more. Which means we really have like one left above us that is like immediate. I'm going to say more immediate liquidity, more immediate than anything that exists over here still. So that's like our last more immediate sort of area for liquidity, and then we're going to start running out of liquidity. So we're going to get to see we're going to get to see Bitcoin make a pretty big decision here pretty soon. Um, Possibly, I mean, it could happen today. It could happen this weekend. Um, but I would imagine no earlier or no later than like early next week, we're going to get to see it make a decision. We're going to get to see it make a decision as to like whether or not it's really going to crack this. Uh, we're going to pretend that's a big old candle. Is it really going to crack and break up out of here or not? We're going to find out. Yeah, because it's going to have, in my opinion, just my personal opinion, it's going to have to make a pretty aggressive breakout out of here, um, or it's out of liquidity, and then it's going to want to start, returning kind of on that same sort of range theory concept that we were talking about yesterday. Um, it's gonna want to start returning for some of that stuff if it can't break out of here, which is just a matter of like it's just a matter of asset value, right? Like if people are not willing to pay more than 60 whatever this is 62.5 for Bitcoin, then it's going to get sent back to find buyers. It will have to be sent back to find buyers. If nobody is willing to buy it above these levels, then factually speaking, it will be sent back to somebody who is willing to buy it, wherever that somebody exists down here. So, yeah, it's neat because hey, good morning, BAFSR. And that's quite frankly how I feel about that, which I don't think should be any surprise to anybody at this point. Um, I suppose it could make a rotation from here back down to something like this, having kind of taken out all of this stuff up in this region. Um, maybe that's when we see a rotation start to go back down. Possible. Now let's jump down into a little bit of lower time frame sort of stuff. In order to change market structure currently, um, we're going to need to lose 60,651 with a close on the, let's figure out what it's got to be on. quite a high time frame. It looks like. Gone. Yeah, about you're gonna need about a 2 hour candle body close um, to lose that because we have 2 hour structure in here. There's our one, two bullish candles. There's our one, two bearish candles, followed by our one, two bullish candles. Um, so yeah, that's going to be the first place that it is really going to be able to lose structure. Maybe I feel like all of a sudden I feel like I should be looking at volume. Let's take a peek at volume. All right, so we had our first little positive volume spike here. The volume of that candle 70 or 7,000 like 7,000 Bitcoin. Then we have another bullish volume here. That's 3,000 Bitcoin, 5,000 Bitcoin, 7,000 Bitcoin, and then we see a 13,000 negative delta candle to follow. Um, which doesn't, it doesn't particularly surprise me. It's not unheard of, but this is less. This is the thing about this is like if this delta was long, then these traders would already be kind of underwater at this point, right? And whenever I see trapped traders, that's a good sign for me to short. When I see people trapped long, then that is a good time for me to short because it looks like they are getting the rug pulled on them. But this is not the case. People shorted here; they are not trapped. Um, so in order to trap them, we have to pull price back above this high, right? That is what's going to trap those guys. And that seems quite likely at this point. That seems quite likely that there was a lot of limit order. Those little dotted lines here are those liquidity points that were over here. They're over there. Trust me, they're over there. We looked at them earlier. So we had a lot of orders set up in this zone. Those orders got tagged. They were net short. Um, they will be trapped as soon as we return and break that high. Those traders will be trapped. And yeah, so that seems a bit more likely. Would have been cool to see. Market this week just doesn't want to give me what I ever want to give me what I want to see. Maybe that's kind of. Like even the 1 minute right now is like here and everything is internal to those 2 points on the 1 minute, um, which is unfortunate. I wish I would have had better structure from here to here, because I think that blue zone could provide a lift if mitigated, but I will lack this signal because of the way this structure flowed, right? So it's going to be a little bit harder. It may develop still, right? It may still develop. It is possible for some manner of decent structure to develop in there, um, and but please understand we are in the premium of the range, and buying prices in premium prices is not always the best idea. Quite factually, it is normally not a great idea. Um, but maybe you get a little scalp and cheese to here or here. Maybe price really wants to break out above here and come and test that kind of older supply over there. I don't know. I don't know the answers to those questions. But um, what two things I do know is that if price returns above this high, then these people who shorted that high are going to be trapped. That much I do know. And the other thing I do know is that if we lose this low, we're breaking 2 hour market structure. and price is going to start trying to hunt out all this other liquidity. Those are the two things I'm very confident in saying. Uh, yeah, so looking for a, I mean, like, oh, that's not the right tool. I really do kind of feel like there's a play out of here. Um, yeah, I do. I do. I just would feel, and this is really more than anything, it's because of that we're in the premium of the range. I just feel that it needs to give me like something just a little bit more clear, and even then, it's going to be a thin gap to build a two plus. I really shoot for three, but like a 2 to 3 R out of. It's going to be a thin gap to build that in. Hmm. Yep. So, I'm going to be a little picky on this myself. I'm going to be a little picky on this. It's Friday. I don't like to force trades on Fridays. I don't like to force trades in general, but and I love it. So that's all there is to that. Oceans. Good morning, Micro AB. Good morning, Aaron. Good morning. It's happening as we speak. It's happening as we speak. It's happening as we speak. Yeah, I mean, we're getting the mitigation of this demand right now. The question is it gonna hold? I mean, there is a lot of shorts that came in, right? And now we're piling more in on top of it. We're already at well, that's only 3K. Oh wait, we dropped time frames. Okay, so that was like 5K. Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, we may lose this. We may lose this. Will be interesting to see. And yeah, it's not. But again, it's also I'm on the 1 minute time frame, right? We can see price come down here. We need a 2 hour body close down here, right? So that means price needs to not only come down here, but then it needs to hang out. It's 7:49 a.m. my time. It needs to still be down here at like 2 hours from now, like 9:49. It still needs to be down in this zone then, for it to break this on the 2 hour um, structure, right? Like it. Oh, well, we lost our other bullish candle, and I mean that's just maybe I'm picking on it a little too much. Maybe I would suffice for a close that isn't a 1 hour, or I'm sorry, a 2 hour body candle. I put too many drawing tools on it. Let me go back here. I have to delete stuff. It's messing me up. What? Okay, whatever. Um, yeah, we are going up in time frame. Boom, boom, touch that. Let's keep this guy down the curb. You are officially in my way. I'm going to turn volume off for now. Let's get rid of those drawings. Down the line. Stop there. Go away. I don't want you there. Actually, I can delete that line because it has already been wiped, and that's been wiped, and that's been wiped. Um, Crap, now I forgot what I was thinking about. I forgot what I was thinking about. Oh, I remember now. I remember now. Yeah, it's gonna be a little too early. it's going to be a little too early. I was trying to spot like if we do break, like what is logical to mitigate if we're going to mitigate something, but I think it's just too early. I think it's just too early. Yeah, I don't want to make that assumption. Like I'm already looking. I'm kind of looking to this bullish candle on the 20-minute time frame right now, but yeah, it's just too early to make an assumption on that. Um, bum, 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 bum. Yeah, and again, I don't have too much more to talk about on this thing. I don't have too much more to talk about. I'm uh I'm not the kind of person that would long a trend line like that. It just goes against my approach. So that's not something I would be interested in. Nope. Hey, you can go off the chart now. We don't need you anymore. And you can go away, and you can go away. I mean, there is a lot of fucking wicks up here. And let's see here. That wick, 7%. Yeah, I guess we'll count that one. A lot of percent. Not so much off this last one, though. Mhm. Yeah, my lean is. Oh, I was like, what happened all of a sudden? I was a little confused. Um, my lean is price still wants to find out what happens here before it finds out what happens like here or here. I still think it wants to find this answer out first. Just don't know. I just don't. I mean, I've seen it happen before, but I don't love the idea of a rotation down to like actually lower targets um, off of an internal high like this. I don't love the idea of it, but I definitely have seen that happen before. Most definitely, I've seen that happen. And I have been caught with it before, and I try not to get caught by it anymore. Um, so yeah, we can kind of wrap some of this stuff up pretty quick and go look at anything else anybody wants to look at. Um, if we come back up here, we are trapping a lot of shorts. If we break this, we're losing 1 to 2 hour market structure, and I want to see some manner of mitigation to an area I haven't been able to identify yet because all we have right here so far is a fair value gap. So, factually speaking, hold on, let me delete that or it's not going to make sense. Price to come up from here and then back down and break this, this gives me an area that I would like to see mitigated for a continuation at that point. Um, yeah, like even if it were to come and let me delete some more of that stuff. Even if it were to come and fill this fair value gap, maybe come into this section right here, fill that fair value gap, and then snap down, actually breaking some external structure that brought us up here, then I would definitely be looking to a zone like that again for a larger move. And that's just me drawing and hoping and wishing. We'll see if any of that shit actually happens. I think it's going to be hard to get through this area. Um, I wonder. I wonder if Luke's talking like this or this area, this or this. But it does look like there. Let's put it this. Let me go back out to the 3 hour. Talking about hard to get through areas. Um, yeah, I mean we don't see a lot of confident buying anywhere up here. We just don't. We don't see we don't see people really confident in the price of Bitcoin at those levels. They seem to be a little tender-footed up in that region. All right, yeah. So lower, get through the lower area. Yeah, I mean, obviously, that's another good point too. Is that it's so you have like a decent down move, but the rest of them have all been getting bought up. The rest of them have all been getting bought up. So that is an interesting piece of information as well. Like obviously bullish momentum is increasing. Um, yeah, we just it's gonna make a decision here really quick. But I'm like I see price like this get cut through so many times. I just see it so many times. Like really and truly, when you break major decisional points like this with confidence and they actually hold and don't come back for shit, you almost never have this much remaining liquidity below you. Price will tend to, yeah, like snap points out or make better ranges and mitigations on the like. It's just this just doesn't. This just nope, nope. I'm just not feeling that. You know, let's see if I can make another case about this. Let's see if I can make another case about this. It kind of comes down to more of an accumulation point where it's like, okay, if this if this is where the market maker, um, bought the coin with an intention of making a really large run, um, on price, well, they would not in my perspective and just from my time on the charts, they cannot buy that much of it in one fell swoop. That's when slippage kicks in. And maybe we could talk about a different way to look at liquidity and slippage today. um, but they just can't get a big enough position off of one move like this without slippage. That's why I would have wanted to see this taken at least one more time, um, or two more times, something along those lines, where I saw multiple entries into a larger position. Um, that gives me a lot more confidence for runs like that. To me, it makes way more sense to it just for me it makes more sense to come here, fail this, come back down here, fail that, and then rip it up. That just makes way more sense to me. Way more sense. Um, yes, yeah, it just does. And considering nobody's asked to look at anything else, I'll let's see here. So we're talking about accumulation, not distribution, liquidity, and slippage. Accumulation, buying. Okay, so imagine imagine you show up to the farmer's market to buy some, I don't know, whatever your guys' favorite stuff to eat is. You went to the farmer's market to buy tomatoes because tomatoes bang. And you showed up to the farmer's market with $1 million, and you're like, I fucking love tomatoes and buying all the tomatoes. And, the tomatoes are, I don't know, they're selling for $1 each, right? And so you want 1 million of them. Well, that farmer's market was a small, farmer's market, and they only had 1,000 tomatoes, right? They only had 1,000 tomatoes, and they were selling them at $1 each. Well, you show up looking to spend $1 million on tomatoes. What do you think is going to happen to the price, right? How are they going to justify $1 million in sales off their $1,000 of tomatoes? The tomato price has to go up significantly in order for you to spend that money, right? So you can't just, if there is not enough people willing to sell 1 million tomatoes to you right here, If there isn't a million tomatoes to buy at a dollar a piece, then what happens is demand is far greater than supply and price goes whoosh. So let's say there was only 1,000 tomatoes for sale right here, and you threw $1 million down on the table, that happens to the price regardless. So you didn't buy 1,000 tomatoes at this price. You bought 1,000 tomatoes at the average price of something from, yeah, from like the top to the bottom, right? That's how much you ended up spending on the tomatoes. That is just my stupid way of explaining liquidity and slippage. So that's why you have to, you got to buy, you got to come to the farmer's market and with your $1 million, and you got to buy your 1,000 tomatoes here, and then you need to buy another. then you need to get everybody else in the market to sell you even more tomatoes down here, and then even more tomatoes down here, and then finally you can purchase your million tomatoes at a dollar a piece. Somebody's pounding on my door, so bear with me. I will be back. In theory, I will be back.